You have arrived. After a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond, your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all of Lor Oshar. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance. I'm not sure if stout labor is a real phrase, but whether by bolt, plow, or hook, provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it is spring now. Enough time to delve secure lodgings ere the wolves get hungry. A new chapter of dwarven history begins here, at this place. Moral Vod, page sounded. Strike the earth! All right, I'm ready.
Oh, very, very inspiring, Tony.
Thank you. Jesus Christ, what's happening? This looks very...
All right, so that left pane, this is your main view into the world. So you're looking top down at what appears to be snow-covered ground, some tree trunks, and look like some boulders lying around on a relatively flat patch of earth. That center panel is your information panel. This is where right now it's just showing you the basic commands that you can execute because we don't have any particular, we're not in any submenus or anything. And to the right of that is the region view. So this is a simplified view of our entire map that we've selected.
Okay. Right now, in the visual window, these are the dwarves that we're looking at. This is our party of dwarves. And I think, so there are 7 of them. And then there's some dogs and cats. What are these animals?
Yeah, well, 2 of them are probably the draft animals that you use to pull your wagon. Your wagon is that sort of yellowish looking upside down U in the center. So you show up with some draft animals. That looks like a not a yak, the other one, water buffalo, I think, to your left. There's some cats and dogs and your 7 dwarves. And your dwarves have different uniforms, I guess, depending on their profession. So I can see a miner, a woodcutter, a stonemason. Someday you will probably recognize all of these by the color of their outfits. But so this is the look key. So this is the principal way in which you, I guess, interact or gather information about what you're seeing on your screen. You can turn this command on and put it over any tile, and it will give you some information about it.
Now, this is one of the things that's always been difficult for me about Dwarf Fortress, because with the advent of graphics on a screen, man created a way to be able to see what things are visually, but Dwarf Fortress prefers to take a more roundabout tack, and you have to use the look command and have text tell you what you're looking at.
Yes.
Now, I know that over time you do learn what all those things are, but it's just an extra barrier to entry. Okay.
Yeah, I feel it's somewhat similar, and maybe you'll feel this once you gain proficiency with it. But I imagine it must be what like astronomers feel like when they look at just pages and pages of numbers gathered from a radio telescope and they see galaxies.
Yes,
if that makes any sense.
But astronomers are accomplishing the addition of knowledge to mankind, and I'm trying to play a game about dwarves and cats.
But the absence of any complex graphics does allow this game to be incredibly deep and complex. I don't think I can't think of another game I've played that has the level of complexity that this game does.
Not even Candy Crush?
I've never played Candy Crush.
Well, my friend, you're missing out.
So our dwarves have basically arrived in the embark site that we picked for them, and they stopped their wagon in the middle of the snow-covered field, and now they're basically waiting around, not doing anything because we haven't given them any orders. But before we give them orders, we're going to want to keep the game paused and look around the region that we're in and try and make a plan for what we want to do, because there's no surer way to defeat in Dwarf Fortress than not having a plan, which is a lie. There are probably lots and lots of shorter routes to defeat, but
stop lying to me.
We're probably somewhere in the middle of the map, and we're going to look for anything There should be some cliff faces somewhere. Aha. That's the area that the ground has started to melt. And on the left there, that is our first cliff face. And just take a minute to look around and sort of familiarize. So you see that's the pecan tree
trunk. This is nice and pastoral. Rock salt, potato plants, potato leaves. I could create an artisanal gastropub in this area.
You totally could. Well, I guess your priorities when you start a new fortress are, you need to secure some lodging for your dwarves. You need to secure some form of food source to keep them from starving. You'll need to secure some source of drink. Dwarves hate drinking water. They will drink it if they have to avoid dying of thirst, but they
prefer Pepsi.
Be unhappy about it. So you need to get your alcohol industry up and going. My advice right off the bat that, what you want to do is get your dwarves somewhere underground at first so that they're not outside. Dwarves also generally don't like being outside that much. Some dwarves, actually, why don't we go back to your dwarves and we'll learn a little bit more about your dwarves just to illustrate the point.
Yeah, let's learn about these dwarves.
There you go. The thoughts and preferences.
Oh my God. It's a whole biography of Tosid Ilkadol. Is there something to be happy about? That's his motto in life?
That's his most recent thought.
It's funny because it's also my most recent thought. He is a faithful worshiper of the Siena Doors. Is that a sports team?
It's a Doors cover band.
And an ardent worshiper of De l'Arcanyan Mind. He's a citizen of the Tools of Webbing. He's a member of the Girder of Yawns. He arrived at Moralvad on the 15th of Granite in the year 250. He is 71 years old, which I assume is young for dwarves.
Yeah, I think it's young on the younger side.
His hair is quite sparse. His medium-length sideburns are braided. He totally does sound like a gastropub bartender. His medium-length mustache is arranged in double braids. His medium-length beard is arranged in double braids. His very long hair is neatly combed. Wait a minute. His hair is sparse, but he also has very long hair. I guess he just has sparse, very long hair.
Oh, yeah.
He has a scratchy voice. His nose bridge is concave. His ears are somewhat narrow. His nose is narrow. He has high cheekbones. His head is broad. His eyebrows are extremely sparse. How much of gameplay effect does the sparsity of his eyebrows have, I wonder?
None that I'm aware of.
His lips are very thin. This guy's a hottie. His eyelashes are quite long. His hair is pale brown. They could consolidate all the hair-related information close together, but they choose to spread it out. His skin is cinnamon. Ooh. His eyes are jade. He is flimsy and very weak. Why do we have a flimsy and very weak dwarf, Brian?
It's random selection, man. Or maybe these are the people that that got kicked out back home. They couldn't cut it in the capital.
Toasted Ilkadol, here's his turn-ons. He likes saltpeter, don't we all? Brass, red tourmaline, the color charcoal, spears, and high boots. When possible, he prefers to consume prickleberry wine. He absolutely detests fire snakes. Okay, that's reasonable. He has meager creativity, little willpower, little patience, and quite poor focus. Who is this loser that we've been saddled with?
And he's probably the expedition leader.
Like others in his culture, he holds Kraft's dwarfship to be one of the highest ideals. He personally values family, values independence, and doesn't feel strongly about the law. He dreams of crafting a masterwork someday. He is very greedy. He has great trouble mastering fear. Yeah, that's obvious. Mm-hmm. He does not easily fall in love and rarely develops positive sentiments. I kind of like how grumpy he is.
Yes. What is his name? Tosid Ilkadol.
He is rarely happy or enthusiastic, and he is conflicted by this as he values parties and merrymaking in the abstract. He likes a little excitement now and then. He generally acts blah, blah, blah. He needs alcohol to get through the working day.
Yeah. Excellent. Did you see his name translates to wordy hatchets? Oh, he's the woodcutter. That makes sense. Hatchets.
Hey, make sure to subscribe to my channel, bro. And also you should watch this video about what life was like in LA.